Yes, this is a brand new video, never before uploaded. Anyway, this is a response to what I think, or what happens when you die, from Up Down mostly. Really good video, Tim, by the way. Good effects. You're learning how to use Vegas, for sure. I don't think I would be up to it. Anyway, to the subject. I think what happens when you die is nothing. This is my opinion, it's not my belief. It's a fine distinction, but I think an important one. In the same way, I would say it's my opinion that there is no deity, but it's not my belief. My belief is that it's not known one way or another and can't be shown one way or another. And if it were shown one way or another, then I would change my belief. So I don't have a belief really in that regard. Nor do I have a belief as to what happens after death, because I have no real evidence one way or another. I have an opinion which is based on my own experience. And that experience is the fact that I have been known to faint. 3 times in my life I fainted. And my first time was when I was 14 years old. And I was in scout camp. And I had cut up one of my fingers. This finger. Still have a scar, actually. Really bad. Which was not a big deal to me at the time, even though I was bleeding like hell. But as the scoutmaster was cleaning it up, he mentioned that I was going to need stitches. And this was something I had never had. And the idea just scared the hell out of me. Because the idea of somebody taking a needle and thread and putting it into parts of my body was just beyond my imagination at that time. It wouldn't bother me now, but you know, this was when I was 14. So the next thing I remember after him saying that is waking up lying on a cot, which turned out to be his cot in his tent. And it turned out to be like a half an hour later. But there was no sense of any time passing. No sense of existence or non-existence, no sense of anything. It was just 1 minute I was sitting there having my cut cleaned, and the next microsecond I was waking up in the tent. There was no dreaming, no white light, no nothing. It was like no passage of time. So I think that's probably pretty much what death is. Nothing. And having fainted twice more in my life and experienced exactly the same way, I'm pretty convinced. The last time I fainted was not that long ago, actually. It was when I was getting a colonoscopy, which I can assure you, if you can avoid it, you want to. Very unpleasant. But I think the thing we most fear about death is the inability to fathom nothingness without there being a passage of time involved. So we think of nothing, but we think of it in terms of time passing, or total boredom and total darkness, or something like that. And that's not it. It's truly nothing. And that's all I have to offer on the matter, really. A lot of people will take issue with this, of course. Think back to before you were born and what that was like. Or can you? Well, I can't. I can sort of imagine, because I know history. I know what was going on, but I know that from books and television and movies and magazines and what have you. But I don't have any memory of, meeting people or talking to people or breathing or eating or anything else that would count as first-person memory. My earliest memory was from when I was 6 months or so. I know I was still crawling and not walking. And it's just an image that I had no understanding of. But it's interesting and coincidental that that image was of death. It was in my grandmother's house, and my father apparently had shot and killed a squirrel for food. And I remember that dead squirrel lying in the newspaper with the blood. But it's not anything more than an image. I had no understanding or comprehension of it until later. Now I know what it was of. At the time, no. No memory of any feeling one way or another or understanding one way or another. Now for a big surprise. I do believe in ghosts. I have experienced them. I think it has something to do with an imprinting in the space-time continuum that is well beyond my ability to understand or explain. And most people who do understand Einstein or Heisenberg or Planck would laugh at me. But they would have to admit that there are things that they don't understand too. My own experiences with ghosts occurred when I was younger, and it was simply the replaying of an event that had happened almost 100 years ago at that time. That would be, oh gee, 100 and, not quite 150 years ago now. But there was no sense that these manifestations had any knowledge that they even existed or had any ability to interact with their environment. They were just night after night replaying the same event over and over, almost like a film. So that's my opinion on ghosts. I don't think it's something supernatural. I think it's something entirely natural that we don't understand. But I do think that they exist because I've experienced them myself. And that's all I have to say on the matter. I think I will upload the very last Renaissance Festival video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And then I'll try to figure out how to make a playlist.